All right, welcome back to the channel. It's Perry here, and we're going to kind of do things in reverse order this week and start with a top down, and then I will pan in for a side view after we do kind of a walk around and do sort of a catch up, if you will. This is my piece here. This is a piece that I acquired from a guy named Bacon, and he was a Reef to Reef, Reef of the Month recipient. And a couple years later, he got out of the hobby and I guess lost this piece. So I don't know that he still retains it. I don't think he does. So in honor of the selected name that he chose, I kept this one as Purple Snow. And if you're tuning in, this is a revisit or a remake video, if you will. And I apologize for any shakiness. I'm doing my best to hold this top down as steady as I can for you. So right away you can see the reason it's called Purple Snow is it takes on that snow-like appearance, not to be confused by the abstract of that purple polyp. So yeah, you know, I think that's what really makes this coral interesting is those purple polyps and that lavender tone that you see there as you get towards the tips of the coral on that fade of the lighter base to the green. Definitely a super cool piece. Quite interesting. I don't have a scientific name on it. To me, I also reference this piece at points as like the purple pearlberry. But you know, ultimately the name is Purple Snow, but it kind of has that pearlberry look with a purple polyp twist on it, right? So definitely a very cool growth structure. When we take on the side view, you're gonna definitely see why I decided to sort of bonsai perch this one, because it's a stunner, you know. And again, we kind of get more out of these corals in that full spectrum. So something I want you Acro lovers to consider out there if you're currently running LED. You know, here's why you want to run that full spectrum, because you can start to see these different tones that are taking place that would otherwise be you know, sort of muted out. And you know, again, we can fade to blue and really take in that look either early in the day before we go off to work or in the latter part of the day when we return home from work. But all in all, I suggest that you find a way to bring that fuller spectrum. I'm currently peaking at 30 on my whites on the Reef breeder, 30%, which is pretty high for Reef breeders. Most go around 15 or 20, and then I've got the T5s with the ABS ×2 and the Blue Plus ×2. So definitely a wider spectrum than most keep, and it gives me the ability to take on some of, like I said, these different hues that really make this coral outstanding, as well as others in the tank. And you can see right there, for reference of color, an abstract of color, that's the aquamarine jewel. So you can see that aquamarine, and then you look at this and you can sort of see that that tone deep in the base of this coral. And again, if I get it right, over time we should start seeing more white appear in this coral, showing those snow tones, if you will. So let's take a side shot. All right, so right there's a really remarkable side shot for you. You can see how I perched it to sort of bonsai it, right? And really give it its own structure. So, you know, as you kind of go down, there's the sand bed, and then you go up. You can see how I mounted it, and then you sort of taper up the reef right here. And you can see I sort of did the same thing with that spath right there. But, you know, again, the Purple Snow, what a cool growth pattern, right? I mean, it's not a full-on table. I've got plenty of those, but this one's definitely unique in a sense that you just don't see this kind of coral every day anymore. These were kind of common corals back in the day, and in European reef tanks, you see this kind of growth structure and color scheme quite often. They do also tend to run like more of a full spectrum, right? So, you know, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? It's totally what you're looking for, but you probably won't get the most out of this purple piece right here unless you run that full spectrum. Okay, and then now we back away. As you can see, the cleaning up efforts are continuing to reveal, you know, some really beautiful colors, a very clean, aesthetically eye-pleasing reef. I have a touch of OCD, so things have to look a certain way for my eye, and yeah, if they don't look that way, then I just can't find comfort in what I'm doing. But anyway, so yeah, I just figured we'd do a quick walk around. Pretty soon I'm going to talk about and have a dedicated video for a product that was sent to me to try out, and it's from Alan Vo, and if you know who he is, he goes by CRT on Instagram. He's been interviewing with a lot of different reef enthusiasts out there, like Frag Garage, I think, and Reef Builders. I believe he was on there recently. So yeah, Alan hit me up and said he wanted to send a complimentary jar for me to try out, and I'll get more into what my findings are. It may or may not benefit. So far, I'm not seeing any drawbacks at all. I am seeing a feed response, so that's super cool. I've suggested before that I believe my fish food is what drives the colors, and that I'm opting for more fish and, you know, more feed, but certain coral foods and supplements definitely have their place and value depending on the reefer and their bioload and the kind of setup, whether it be a nano or a larger reef, whatever the case may be. Sometimes these supplements really can benefit a system. So yeah, there you go. That's my reef, and today was the purple snow. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it, guys. Much love.